Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Mind Body Blend. This month, our theme is HIIT IT. So we are going to be putting some high intensity interval training or just basic interval training into all of our classes today. Now, typically in Mind Body Blend, we don't elevate our heart rate with set cardiovascular exercises. That is not the case today. We are going to elevate our heart rate for a little bit in short segments and get that up with some quicker cardiovascular type activities. Make sure you're going at your own pace for those and doing what feels best for your body. I am barefoot. We usually are in this class, but you can always wear footwear if that feels a little bit more comfortable for you. So I'm going to start today with our next assessment, which is the single leg stance test. It is a balance assessment. We have been doing single leg stance all last month, but there's a little bit more criteria for this when we actually assess the test. So what we want to do is have our feet about hips distance apart. And again, we're not going to do the test today. I'm just going to give you instructions and you're going to do this on your own later. For the assessment, you have to have your hands on your hips. Because as we know, when we're balancing, if we have our arms out here like this, we can wiggle around, we can catch our balance, but that's not the case for the assessment. Hands go on your hips. You'll shift your body weight over into one foot. You pick up the knee. Now it doesn't have to be all the way up to 90 degrees. You can have it just a couple of inches above the floor. The next criteria is you have to look straight forward. So if you're doing this assessment at your house, maybe you've got a picture on the wall, you're going to look at it. You can't look down. You can't shift your gaze anywhere during the test. So straight forward, your best posture, so shoulders down and back. So the test fails if you take your hands off your hips, if you look down, or if you touch your foot to the floor. So what I'd like for you to do is when you have some time, do this assessment for yourself, hit a time clock. If you need to have a friend to help you run the clock, great. And see how long you can balance in seconds on one side versus the other. And I am accumulating a set of articles that I'm going to put together for my newsletter that's going to tell, number one, what is the reason we're doing this test? What is the importance of it? What does it measure? And kind of what the good range for us is. As seniors, if you're a senior, most of us are that are doing this class, anything 30 seconds and above, it should be normal. But in LisaBug classes, we're not going for normal, right? We're going for superior. So I don't want you to stop at 30 seconds and just say, oh, I can do what's normal. I want you to see how long you can balance. And of course, we're going to be doing these down the road and reassessing to see if we see some improvements. All right, so that's the assessment. Let me know if you have any questions. And then let's move toward our class today. So we are going to start with our Tai Chi as usual. And in our Tai Chi, I'm going to have some rise and fall of our pace. So some of the movements are going to be very slow. Some we're going to pick up the pace. So what I'd like for you to start is just feet hips distance apart. And we are going to step to the right, 1 and 2, tap your toe. Step to the left, 1 and 2, tap your toe. Just side to side. And in our form, we've been doing cloud hands, 3 steps to the right and left. But today for our cloud hands, we only have 2 steps to the right and 2 steps to the left. Now hold here, come into left ball. We're going to step to the right 2 steps with our cloud hands. 1, 2, as you stop, you're in right ball. So right hand on top, left hand on the bottom. Take 2 steps to the left, cloud hands. 1 and 2. Now we add that little prep, so slightly rotate to the left side to start, and then go twice, cloud hands. Prep to the right, twice, cloud hands to the left. And I just want you to feel comfortable with this sequence. And this will be the action that will be speeding up in our Tai Chi today, but we're starting with it pretty moderate. just so you have the movements. And even though they're fairly easy, I don't want you to do them on autopilot. I want you to think about your steps, think about your balance, think about your shoulders warming up, and a slight rotation through your spine. Next time we come over to that right side, we'll hold there in our right ball and hold. Our next form is our single whip. So make your little hook with your right hand. We'll pick up the foot left side, take your hook out to the right, and step out with your left foot and block away. Shift your body weight back, pivot on your left heel, release the hook, and step into left ball. So let's do that again to the left side. So make your hook, step out slowly, block away, pivot on the heel, step into right ball. So for most of us, this is just a little refresher of this form. We've done it before, but you might just need to kind of go, oh yeah, now I remember. And it's pretty much a step directly out to the side, so you shouldn't travel a lot forward. You might a little bit. Let's do one more on each side. I'm going to step back just a smidge. So we prep, we make the hook, we step and block, release the hook as you pivot on the heel, step into left ball. And once you come to right ball, hold, and we'll go back into that double cloud hands. 2 steps to the left, do a little prep, and I want you to speed this up. 2 steps to the right, speed it up. 1 more each side. Now a slow single whip, slow it down. Step into left ball. Keep that movement slow, single whip. Step into right ball, speed it up with 2 cloud hands. Slow single whip. Other side. Speed it up, waving hands like clouds. Come into right ball, pause. So we're going to do a breakdown of movements. Only 1 single whip, and then we'll insert the cloud hands. Prep, make your hook slow. Once you come into left ball, cloud hands to the right. Move quicker. 1, 2, switch. 1. Hold left ball, start to slow back down for single whip. Once you step into right ball, speed it up, cloud hands. Twice, 2 steps, 2 steps. Hold your right ball, slow single whip. Concentrate on this speed change. Cloud hands. One more slow single whip. Cloud hands 2 times, left, 2 times right, and then come hands to shoulders, brush, and lower down. All right, we're going to start to elevate our heart rate here to continue to really warm the body. When we do ballet bar, some of those movements cross over to other sports and activities. One thing it crosses over to is martial arts. So what I'd like for you to do is take your right shoulder, bring it to the front, face it toward me, and then we're going to step forward, step back, step forward, step back. And then bring up what we call the guard position. So we have our fists underneath our chin. There's one movement that we do in bar called développé. It's similar to a martial arts front kick. So as we move this, as you step back, pick up your right knee. Step forward, step back. Now I always like to layer on movements. That way, if you get to something that doesn't feel okay for you, then you can stay with the one that before that we did. So now we're going to start to add our core in this. So as we come up and bring the knee lift, we'll rotate the back elbow to the front knee. I want you to have your abdominals really engaged. Good. Now for 30 seconds, I want you to pick up the pace for an interval. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Quick, quick. And notice the change in the speed. It's going to start to elevate the heart rate. Good. Really exhale when that knee comes up. Breathe out. Breathe out. Start to feel that heart rate coming up. You have 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Turn your other shoulder toward me. Step forward. Step back. Check in and see how much that elevated your heart rate. Bring your guard up. Loose on the fists. Abdominals really engaged. You have a nice long spine. Your feet are pointing toward the direction your hips and shoulders are facing. As you step back, add the knee up. Knee up. Feel that heart rate started to slightly come down as we took the intensity down. Back elbow comes across to activate the obliques. Try not to bend over to get that elbow, so keep your chest up. Now, if you're not feeling like taking this up to the higher level, you just stay at your own pace or get ready for about a 30-second increase in speed to elevate that heart rate. 4, 3, 2, and begin. Exhale, bring it up. Nice strong core. Good. Nice warm up for the hip flexors, or the glutes, the calves. 10 seconds. Good job. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And step forward and back. Bring this back to the center. Step your feet a little wider than hips distance. Turn your toes out. Squat down. And then as you come up, pull your right elbow back and look behind you. Squat down, pull your left elbow back, look behind you. So when we do martial arts, This is called an elbow strike. So if you have an opponent behind you, getting ready for an attack, then you're striking behind. Now, if you feel comfortable with this, let's stay on the right side only. Squat and strike. If this bothers your elbow, you can strike low, keeping it here. So we are going to pick up the intensity with this for 30 seconds. In 4, 3, 2, go. Down and up. Now these faster movements require your core to really stay braced. So try not to get sloppy and out of control. If that means you need to slow down, that's okay. If you need to take the arm out of the picture, feel free to do that. If it's making you dizzy to turn your head, keep looking forward. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow, left side, just prepping. So of course, speed of motion is one of the number one things we can do to create an interval that's high intensity. But there's a continuum of speed, right? So you might just pick it up a little bit here in the interval, and that's okay. So let's get ready. 5 seconds to start our interval. 3, 2, go. Rotate. So you're doing a fast strike behind you and then pulling that arm right back into place. Really using those muscles in your body in a powerful way. Good job, good job. 15 seconds, guys. Heart rate is up now. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Take a breath in. Check in, heart rate, breathing rate. One more breath. And relax down. Okay, time to pick up some hand weights. So I want you to pick up something you can do bicep curls, pushes forward. So we've got a shoulder flexion, and then maybe above the head, only if that's okay for you. So find the weight or have a couple different ones close by to see how that's going to look for you. So we're going to practice balancing here. If you lose your balance, tap your foot down to the floor, or you can keep your big toe tapped to the floor, or you can choose to hold on to something with one hand and only do weight work with the other. So what I want you to do is turn out your back foot and then turn your front foot straight ahead. Bring your knee up into single leg stance and then lower it down. So I have my right shoulder a little bit forward of my left. And again, we did this a little bit in that cardio, and the same thing, but we're going a little slower now. So if you feel pretty comfortable with your balance, hold it up, do a bicep curl, and then tap it down. So the knee goes first, and then we curl, and tap it down. This is my harder side to balance on my back foot. So you might want to practice what we're doing in our single leg stance assessment by trying to look forward at something rather than looking down. Where our head goes, our posture follows. So if you look down, then your chin will drop slightly, your shoulders will round, and you'll come out of balance. Good, let's do 2 more. Nice job, 1 more. and relax. Keep that shoulder toward me. Bring your weights right to your chest. We are going to squat and then lift that knee up. Squat, lift the knee up. Good. Now, if you feel comfortable pressing weight above your head, as the knee comes up, the weights go up any amount. Focusing on that balance. My balance is really struggling on this side today, but I'm going to hang with it. Good job. We have about 15 seconds. So your back leg should be the one that's really starting to get fatigued in those stabilizer muscles. One more rep. Now you can either leave the weights at your chest or set them quickly on the floor. We're going to do a high speed interval right here. So I'm going to set them down. The movement is the squat, knee up, squat, knee up. So let's go a little quicker. Down and up, down and up. So the lower you take your squat, the more you're going to drive your heart rate up. So if it's feeling too elevated, make this a small knee lift. If you want to drop it down deeper, heart rate's going to come up. 10 seconds. Good job, abs in tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. All right, pick those weights back up as we repeat on the other side. Okay, so that left shoulder's in front, back foot slightly turned out, front foot forward. And we are going to bring our weight back to our back foot. Pick the knee up. Sorry, weights are down. And then tap your foot. Pick the knee up and tap the foot. Now, if you're really feeling pretty stable with your balance, don't tap the foot, just lower it, but keep it an inch above the floor. Okay, what we need to do is add our curls. So your knee's going to come up, then we curl while we're holding the single leg stance, and then the foot comes down. Check your posture. Make sure your back knee, that supporting leg, isn't locked out. You want to have what we sometimes call a micro bend in your knee. Now you can certainly move these actions at the same time, curl as your knee is lifting, but when we do it this way, we're getting that time in balance increased. 2 more. Good job. And bring it on down. Bring those weights right to your chest. We will squat. Lift the knee. Squat. Lift the knee. Slow, controlled. We can stay with this, or we can add a little bit of a press up. So these 2 exercises I've chosen are opposing muscle group work. So we had bicep curls and pressing above the head is going to work the triceps and shoulders. We have about 15 seconds left, and then a cardio interval. I really want you to control that squat going down. Try not to just drop into it. 2 more repetitions. 1 more. Then you can either leave your weights at your chest for the fast interval, but don't move your arms, or set your weights down. Kind of my best recommendation. And then we are going to go down, lift the knee up. Okay, get ready for your interval. I'm going to blast this for about 35 seconds. Go. Good job. Bring it up. Bring it up. So we're lowering and lifting the body's center of gravity, which gives us more muscle action, elevates that heart rate. Good job. 15 seconds. Breathe, breathe, breathe. So many great benefits of interval training. We're hitting a lot of them here today. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Okay, pick up those hand weights again. Nicely done. Okay, so bring them right to your chest, to your shoulders. And turn your toes out slightly in your squat. We are going to come down into the squat as you come up. Lift the right leg into side leg lift, squat, lift the left leg. Good. So what we have is a front push. So we're going to reach across the body, lift the leg. Reach across, lift. This can be done with very light weight or even with no weight if you have some shoulder issues, or you can just drop it down instead of pushing it forward and take your bicep curl again. Good job. We have 15 seconds slow with weight. If you want to take it up on a different plane, as long as it feels okay for your shoulders, explore a range of motion. You can even go with both arms. 1 more each side. Take a short break. Again, your choices are to keep the weights at your chest for the cardio or set them down. It's the same movement, but now we're going fast to a high interval. So let's try it before I start my clock, because I want you to see where you can go. And let's get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, and go. Down and up, down and up. Reach, lift that leg to fire the hips. Reach across, rotate for strong abdominals. Since we don't have weights, we can lift up higher. Good job, 15 seconds. Interval training for our cardiovascular system. Nice job, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Great job. All right, let's bring those weights back up. So we want to include some upper back work. So bring your right shoulder forward. That's the right one. Turn those toes out slightly. Not a lot of space between your feet. We are going to hinge forward into our dead row position. Pull those elbows back like you're doing that elbow strike behind you. Straighten your arms and rise up. So this is option 1, just with a row. Option 2, we're going to add a tricep kickback. So elbows come up, we straighten the arms, we bend, lower down, and stand up. Hinge, pull, straighten, bend, retract, and stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Really squeeze those shoulder blades together. Try not to swing the weights on the kickback. Good job. Now we're going to play with these 6 movements. Let's do 1 more. Now we'll make it 5 movements. So we come down, pull back, straighten and hold. Don't bend your elbows, just lower them down slowly and stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow, and 5. Down, pull back, 3, 4, and 5. 4 more just like that. Nice job. 3 more. 2 more. Really keep your core engaged. And 1 more time, 5 movements, 2, 3, slow on 4, up on 5. Okay, turn your toes out a little bit. I'm going to face forward. So this is second position, fairly narrow. We're going to lift up on the toes and lower down. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Balancing and really firing your calves. Option 1, there's no arms with this. Option 2, a small raise, and up, and up, up. You don't have to come all the way to straight arms, because I would like for the calf raise to be quick and really work those calves. 15 seconds, everybody. And up, and up. It's okay if you need to hold on to a chair for this sequence, and don't worry about the weights. Get that muscle work. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Down we go. Okay, turn your left shoulder toward me. We'll repeat our sequence. 5 actions without the kickback. Maybe it's 4. Yeah, it's 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is what we started with. And if your only selection of weights is really heavy, then this might be the one you want to stay with. It's called the dead row. So we've got a deadlift with a bent over row, and then come out of the deadlift. And then we move on to 6 movements. Down 1, pull up 2, straighten 3, bend 4, release down 5, stand up 6. To the knees, squeeze the shoulder blades, straighten the arms, bend the arms, lower and rise. Now start to really engage your core here so your spine stays neutral. We don't want to round the back and come down like this. That's not good. So keep that back nice and straight and neutral. So you're slightly shifting your tailbone back. Let's move this into 5 movements. Down 1, pull up 2, straighten 3, hold the arms straight, come down slow on 4, stand up on 5. 1, 2, straighten 3, hold, slowly lower down 4, come up on 5. And again, this is progressive work, so if there's anything in it that doesn't feel okay for you, you know you can leave something out. Modify, change it up. You can progress the movement any way you want. You can regress the movement any way you want, as long as it's performed with good form and control. Nice job. We've got 2 more. Abs braced. And up. And come up. Roll those shoulders back. Okay, we're going to turn those toes out a little bit. Come up, come up, come up. Good, so you can stay just with arms by your side for complete relaxation of your upper body. You can bring it to the chest. Small lift, or small bicep curls, or small upright rows, or small front raises, small side raises. So explore what works for your body. Balance, good posture, good alignment. 15 seconds. Really firing the calves, back of the lower legs starting to heat up. Good, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Great. Keep your weights. Bring your right foot to the front. Take your left foot back. A slight turn out of the toes. So we're in our warrior 2 stance, or warrior 1, sorry, that we do in yoga. And we are going to bring the arms forward, open out, and down. Forward, open out, and down. So we're going to do this with a long lever. But if you need to bend your elbows any amount or switch your weights or do this with no weight, that's great. So we've got a little bit of circumduction in the shoulder. Now, if you'd like to work your balance here, the movement stays the same, but we shift forward off the back foot and stand in our warrior 3. We go forward, out, and down. Either one is fine. 20 seconds. Ten. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Now we need to give our shoulders a break. I want them to feel fresh on the other side. So stand on your right foot. We'll bring the left knee up into développé and then extend the leg, bend, and tap it down. Knee up, extend, and down. So if you've got that, you feel like you want to add arms with this, just a little bit of rotator cuff and bicep. So we bend the elbow as we extend the leg. You're going to rotate the weights away from each other and come down. So even though this is involving the rotator cuff, we're not really using the big deltoids that we did on that first exercise. So they should be relaxing pretty well. Good, we have 2 more. Nice job, 1 more time. And come on down. Okay, your left foot is in front. Right foot steps back with a slight little bit of a turnout. Warrior 1. Pull those shoulder blades back, engage your abs. The arms come forward. We open and come down. Now you can do this the exact same way on this side, or if you want a little bit of a brain challenge, you can reverse this. So if you want to give that a go, what it does is it changes the muscle usage on the eccentric contraction, which is when you're coming down, and the concentric contraction when you're coming up. So slightly different usage of those muscles. So if you want to stay here in Warrior 1, not worry about balance, just keep going with your movement. Or we're going to shift into that front leg, pick up the back foot. You can go either direction, either side, front, and down, or front, side, and down. It's good to challenge the body by moving different ways. Challenge the mind. 15 seconds left on this exercise. Find a good focal point, good drishti. It's our yoga term for our gaze. This is our last one. And relax. So we're standing on the left foot now. We pick up the right knee. Développé, knee comes up, we extend and come back down. This is going to be my challenging side. I have a little hint for you. If you slightly turn your toes out, sometimes that gives you a little bit better balance. And actually, développé is done from first position, so that's something I should have given you an option for on the other side. So you can do no weights if you like, or we can go bicep curl, rotator cuff, and down. To really challenge your balance, try not to set the foot completely to the floor, maybe just tap it. Whoa, I need to do these on this leg every day. That's going to be interesting for me to see the difference on my single leg stance timing for my assessment, because there is such a difference between the balance on my right foot and on my left. 2 more. We must do the thing we think we cannot. Eleanor Roosevelt. All right, relax. Time to grab a little quick drink and come on down to our mats. We're moving into some Pilates. You don't need any weights unless you want to play with some weight work on your own. We're just going to do regular mat work. But I know some of you like to insert that. If you want, that's great. You have a good option for that. Okay. So we're going to come on down. Let's see how my mat looks. That's in the frame. Come on down onto your back. Relax there for a moment. Just check in. Maybe even close your eyes. So Judith sent me a message about, what is the importance of the plank? And I want to talk today about the different ways that our spine moves and what the functionality of those movements are for everyday life. So we're just going to start with a basic crunch. And in mat Pilates, you would typically see this with the fingertips reaching forward and sitting up and coming down. If that bothers your neck and you know that right away, I want you to go ahead and support with your fingertips, or you can even bring a little kitchen towel and let your head cradle in that kitchen towel and hold on to the ends with your hands. That's something you can do to relax your neck. Now, when we come up into these crunches, this is called trunk flexion. And what I want you to think about is the functionality of being able to do this in terms of what you do in your everyday life, between your daily activities or your hobbies or your sports, whatever that might be. So we don't do a sit-up very often in life, maybe just to get up from bed in the morning. If we're laying on the couch, we're going to do a sit-up. So in a functional term, this is not necessarily the best exercise to work the complete area of our core. So same thing, I want you to add rotation. We're going to come across, elbow to knee. You can either pick up your knee or keep your foot on the floor and just go from side to side. So this movement is better than a crunch because it's going to activate more muscles now. We're still getting what we call the rectus abdominis, which is the most external layer of our abdominal muscles. And then we're also getting some of our obliques. So more muscles are firing. But when you think about it in everyday life, what do we do that we do this action laying on our back? Well, maybe if you're a golfer and you do some exercises where you rotate, having this oblique work is going to be really important for you. Let's do one more on each side. And then relax. Rest your neck and your head. And then take your time, and I want you to Place your fingertips right down onto your lower belly, maybe just a couple of inches below your belly button. And I want you to see if you can fire your most internal abdominals, the transverse abdominis. And that is all you're going to do is brace your abs. So you're just going to tighten. You should feel that right under your fingertips. So sometimes the example that I give is, say there was a chandelier on the ceiling, or someone was going to come up to you and throw a ball right down on your stomach. What would you do to respond to something coming down and impacting you? You would brace your muscles. So that is the internalmost layer of your abdominal tissue. And that internal layer supports your organs, right? And really supports your lower back. Sometimes that's not working a lot when we do crunches. It's kind of relaxed. Okay, so now that you have that feeling, I want you to roll over to your hands and knees. And remember, your core is not just your front abdominals, right? Your core is all the way around your body. So I want you to come onto your hands and knees. And guess what, guys? This is a plank. This is really, in its most simplest form, this is a plank because it's about our torso staying in a really good alignment. So now I want you to do that bracing of your abs that you just did on your back. So find those internal muscles, and then we're going to come into spinal balance by extending the arm and the leg opposites and coming back down. Now this can be challenging. You have to really think about bracing the transverse abdominis because a lot of times we just let it go. We don't focus on keeping it engaged and it just kind of relaxes. But if we have that area of our abdominals drawn in and up, that's going to help to protect our lower back. We don't want our back to sway. So now not only are we working our most internal abdominal layer, we're working the muscles of the spine. And we're working them in a diagonal fashion. So this is one of the best exercises that we can do to keep our back strong. And it's still working our core if we have that rectus or the transverse abdominis engaged. So let's do one more. Now, is it very hard to brace your core in your hands and knees? Not generally, because we don't have a lot of leverage, but we still do work that here. So now what I would like for you to do is walk your knees back behind you and drop your hips down. So you have a nice straight line from your knees through the crown of your head. This is called kneeling plank. If your wrists are bothersome to you, you can come down onto your elbows. So now this is more functional for everyday life because we are bracing that transverse abdominis and we're working the muscles of our spine and everything around our body. The transverse isn't just right in front of our core, it works itself all the way around. Now, if you want to challenge this more, come up onto your toes and lift your knees up. And we are going to hold here a few breaths wherever you want to be. So you can be hands and knees, you can be kneeling plank, you can be from your wrists, from your elbows, from your toes, and holding this plank. Now, the reason this exercise is superior is because it works stabilization of your spine. And we need stabilization of our spine for every single thing we do every day in life. You know, you should be thinking about it when you're doing the dishes, all of that. But especially if you're bending over, if you're reaching, if you're pulling, if you're riding your bike, if you're hiking, it's about stabilizing your spine so we don't have a lower back injury, so we keep the spine really healthy. Let's hold for 2 more breaths. One more breath. Then bring your knees down if they're up. Press back into child's pose. Take a nice stretch there. Breathing. And as we do our assessments coming up, one of those assessments is going to be a plank test. So I'm really researching some good studies, good articles to really explain this and what the importance of the plank is. Okay, we have some clamshells. So let's come down onto your side. You can be on your elbow all the way down, and we're just going to open and close. And I want you to fire right here in your medial glute. Your feet stay together. Try not to slouch. Keep this lifted. Really good basic exercise for strengthening your hips. We're not rocking forward and back with the pelvis. Let's do one more on this side, getting about 10 reps. And then see if you can reach this ankle and then pull your knee back and stretch your quad. So if this isn't accessible for you, you can grab a yoga strap to grab the ankle, or you can just simply slide your leg back behind the other and see if you can find some stretch here through this quadricep. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Okay, release that ankle. Push yourself up. This leg here is going to come up and try to see if you can cross it over for a seated twist. If it doesn't feel comfortable for you to cross this ankle, it can stay on the same side of the knee and just rotate and look behind you. Release those obliques. Look over the shoulders. Or over that left shoulder if you're facing my direction. All right, let's do that sequence on the other side. So come down onto the opposite sideline position. Stack your knees, stack your feet, and then just open and close the knees. Really good mobility. You see a lot of physical therapists prescribe this exercise for a lot of different things, maybe some SI joint issues or piriformis issues. Even just strengthening the medial glute if you have some muscle imbalance. We're getting about 10 reps. Let's do 2 more. And then see if you can reach that ankle comfortably. Pull the knee back. Extend that leg back behind you to stretch your quad or any modifications that work best for you. I do like this one with the arm back because it gives you another pec stretch and shoulder stretch right here. So it's a nice opener for the shoulder. One more breath. And then release that stretch. You'll press yourself up and that leg you were stretching is going to come either right in front of your shin or across. Hug it in, sit up tall, and twist, looking over the opposite shoulder. So I also had some questions as to what does this back scratch test really evaluate and what is the importance of it? And we're going to briefly perform that stretch today. If you want to use your yoga strap, you can, or just do it without. And so let's go ahead and release that. Just come to a comfortable seated position. So as we know, when we're in our youth, our posture is pretty good. And the distance between the front of our shoulders will typically match the difference between the back of our shoulders. When we start to age or have postural deficiencies, the shoulders start to round. And so now this distance between the front of the shoulders is much less than the difference behind. So if I have starting to get rounded posture and I try to do this back scratch test and my shoulders are protruded forward, then I can't get my arms to touch behind me. But if I have good upright posture, then I can get that position to come much closer. So it's a general indication of shoulder mobility and posture. So let's work on that just by bringing our hands here. We'll pull the shoulders back. Pull, pull, pull. So we want to get this to open up as much as we can. Take your left hand and rotate it down and bring it behind your back and try to reach your fingers up the back of your shirt as far as you can without damaging this shoulder. So be careful. Then take this hand and reach it up and try to bring your fingertips back as far as you can. Now, if you don't have mobility in this hand to reach up, you're not going to be able to get your hands close together because your elbow is going to be this way. So that's an indication of shoulder mobility. Let's lift that top hand up, bring it back here. Very carefully bring the bottom arm down and around. Bring it here, pull those elbows back again as far as you can. Take the right hand, reach the back of your hand behind your back and try to slide your hand up your spine. So your fingertips are pointing up to the ceiling. Reach this hand so your arm is up as high as you can. Bend your elbow and try to bring your fingertips as close as you can. So some of my members have gotten in touch with me and said, oh, I can grab, I can overlap. And, that's really good shoulder mobility. But most of us, when we get to a certain age, we're not able to have that shoulder mobility, but we can improve that to some degree. All right, let's lift that one up, bring it back, slide it out from underneath. Pull both elbows back, stretch, and then bring the palms of your hands together as we close our class. The light, the love, the honor, and the joy that reside within me, honor that light, love, honor, and joy in each of you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Keep those questions coming on what is the reason we're doing these, because I want to explain it a little further, both in class, on my videos when I'm doing those assessments. I want you to have a really good understanding of that. Are we going to be in the excellent category in all of these assessments? No, we're not. You're going to have your strong sides, you're going to have your weak sides, and it's not a competition. It's just about knowing where you are and knowing your strengths and weaknesses and finding ways that you can work on for improvement. So that's what we're here for. All right, if you can stay along with me, let's give a chat. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, and you can send me a quick little message and let me know